Put your faith in the light.
Hello guys, welcome to another one of my videos. This is Lightblade, and in this one I wanted to showcase a build that I haven't seen around too much. I also didn't mention it in the guide I made for Prepatch, and well, it's mostly because it's bugged. But what if I told you you can actually play around the bug and it's quite strong for Mythic Plus? Well, this is the Radiant Glory Crusade build. With that being said, let's dive into the talents. Okay, so as for talents on the paladin side of the talent tree, the only thing I've noticed is that we're going to go with Divine Purpose. This is because of its really good synergy with Radiant Glory and Crusade. Whenever you get a free proc of Divine Purpose, that counts for the stacks of our Crusade. On the Retribution side of the talent tree, obviously we're going with Crusade plus Radiant Glory. On top of that, we're just going to go with our normal paladin setup, getting most of the AoE things for Mythic Plus dungeons. Now let's go into stats. Okay guys, so these are the stats that I'm going to be running for the showcase. It's 43% critical strike, 35% haste with my Howling Rune, 97% mastery, 13% versatility with a flask of tepid versatility, and just 5% avoidance. As for my trinkets, I'm going with a Whispering Incarnate Icon and an Ominous Chromatic Essence tuned into mastery, so double stat stick trinkets. For my embellishments, I'm going with double blue silken lining on my pants and on my neck. So yeah, that's basically my setup. It's pretty, like, you know, heavy into mastery because mastery just became the best stat for us in this pre-patch, and it's probably going to be the best stat for us in the War Within. Now, with that being said, let's go into the gameplay. Okay guys, so here we are with the gameplay. So this is just a simple Algatar Academy 15, but I thought this was a really good showcase of how the build works and how you have to play around the bug that currently exists. So really don't care too much about the DPS of the other people in this run, just focus on what's happening on my character, you know. So first of all, we're going to take the 5% buff for haste here on Algatar Academy. This is because it's a flat 5% that you're going to be getting. It doesn't get diminished by anything, like by the diminishing stats, secondary stats. So we're gonna wait here for the tank to gather all those things. As usual, you know, this dungeon, we already played it for so long, we all know how it works. So the rotation of the build is pretty simple. Just throw your Blade of Justice and then your Judgment, and then you start throwing your Wake of Ashes, build up your stacks, and as soon as you have 7 or 10 stacks of your Crusade, you drop your Final Reckoning. You just keep spending stuff, you know. Sometimes you can also throw your Divine Toll at 7 stacks to get 5 before you throw your Final Reckoning, and it's going to make your rotation pretty simple, you know. That's the basics of it. You can see we're just plowing through these AoE mobs. It's you know, this is the place that Retribution Paladins love because it's big AoE, and since we have a lot of mastery is great for AoE dungeons. Anyways, we are going to finish up this pack, and well, you just have to rest our teammate that just died, you know. You'll notice that I'm kind of just ignoring most of the not incorporeal, but the afflicted ads. I do help, you know. I'm not just purely ignoring them, but most of the time I'm just going to ignore them. Anyways, you can see damage is pretty high with this build. Crusade is really powerful, especially in combination with Expurgation debuff. So if you guys didn't know, Expurgation got a really big change in the pre-patch. So instead of now of just overriding the Expurgation damage on the target, now it just adds the damage of the new Expurgation that you apply to the target, you know. So you can just keep stacking Expurgations on top of your main target, and it's going to spread that Expurgation to the other stuff that's near it. So just keep spamming that Blade of Justice, build a huge Expurgation, and that's going to get a lot of benefits from things like Crusade, because Crusade gives you 30% extra haste, making the Expurgation tick harder, and that's the main reason this build is really strong, you know, because you're making that Expurgation tick faster. You're also making your Wake of Ashes Truth's Wake tick faster with the haste, and when it ticks faster, it has more chances to crit, to extend its own duration, and increase the damage of Expurgation itself. So yeah, this build has a lot of synergy there. Now, the hard part of this build is that it has a small skill ceiling, you know. Mostly this is whenever you get a proc of Crusade, you know, the normal proc, not the one that you get from your Wake of Ashes. I'm talking about the one that you get from spending Holy Power. So that proc lasts only 5 seconds. So normally you're going to get maybe 2 spenders into that to get it to 7 stacks. The skill part is if you have your Wake of Ashes available at the moment you get the proc from your Holy Power spenders, you get that proc up to 7 stacks, and then at the last second you throw your Wake of Ashes. That way you extend the proc, and you can start, let's say, your 1 minute rotation with 10 stacks of a Crusade. That's going to give you a ton of extra damage. You can see that I do that in a lot of places here, and that makes our damage pretty high. Oh, I also forget to be-res that guy. I'm very sorry about it. I was really focused on just killing the boss here. Anyways, I do res him. I think he dies again. I don't remember that. Anyways, yeah, that's what this build is about. You know, extending Crusade and just keep applying your expurgation on your main target so it spreads to the other things that are near it. It's pretty simple, although it does, like I said, have a small skill ceiling. Okay, he died again. So I basically just solo this boss with a tank. It's pretty simple. The thing is almost dead, and we have a ton of AoE damage to deal with the little adds. Like I said, I'm just not just ignoring the afflicted mobs. I'm trying to help, you know. I'm dispelling stuff, but yeah, 26% health, pretty simple, you know. Right, for example, I throw my Wake of Ashes here, I get an extension, and I start just using my other 1 minute cooldowns, and I have a 10 stack Crusade for my Final Reckoning, for my Divine Toll, and I just do a ton of damage. Pretty fun build. I really enjoy this build, especially because it's so reactive, you know. It makes you do something after you, okay, I got a proc, I have to move, I have to spend, I have to get the stacks up, you know. It's just really fun to play like this. Even though I did enjoy the, let's say, Dragonflight 1 minute Paladin, because we were tanky, we were immortal, and it was pretty reliable, sometimes, you know, you need a bit of randomness in your rotation to make it flavorful, and I really enjoy this one. Anyways, the boss is almost dead. Yeah, we basically just solo it from 26% as with the tank and the healer. I think healer dies here. I don't remember if he did or not. I think he's alive. Yeah, he's alive. He's alive. Anyways, yeah, the first boss is dead, and then now we're going to go to the next part. People are going to release. And let's move. Oh yeah, I forgot. I have to tell you guys how to avoid the bug. So basically the bug happens, I thought at first that it happened whenever you used Wake of Ashes too fast after after an action, you know. So I thought it was okay, so if I use my Wake of Ashes too fast after I throw a spell, I'm going to bug it and I'm not going to get my wings. So it wasn't actually like that. It seems to be an interaction with our tier set, you know, of our, whenever you throw a judgment on a target that has expurgation, and you do that little animation with your hand, you know, like Arthas, with your sword, you know, you face your sword to your enemy, and it seems that is bugging the wings. So the way that you avoid this is just before you throw your Wake of Ashes, like stop for 0.5 seconds and then throw your Wake of Ashes. I know it's a bit annoying, but I've been doing that and I haven't missed a single Wake of Ashes in this run, you know. So before I throw my Wake of Ashes, just stand there for like 0.5 seconds and then I throw my Wake of Ashes, and you never miss the wings from it. And that's pretty much the way you avoid the bug. And if you do that, you can use this build, you know, and then it's really fun. Like you've seen, you know, Crusade is just incredibly fun to play with because of the extra added haste. Just makes the rotation so fun to play with. Anyways, just kill this big sentry, you know. There's a lot of tornadoes. I've been like running away like crazy here. We played like too close to those tornadoes. Too close for comfort, you know. I even come close to dying here. You're gonna see I use my legendary weapon and I almost die here. I thought it was dead. No, actually no, it's not here. No, it's not here. It's in the boss. It's in the boss, I think. Yeah, this guy just dies. I don't even use my legendary. By the way, oh yeah, I use it. I died just in time. Yeah, it was here. It was here. So to be honest, I basically am ignoring the legendary weapon while doing Mythic Plus dungeons. I think I didn't even press it once when we were fighting that the big tree, you know, the first boss, even the trash there. I just ignore it because it does so little damage now. It's like 4% of your damage overall. And of that 4%, like 1% is the active and 3% is just the passive effect. So yeah, I'm just ignoring the active for most part, you know. I'm just doing paladin damage and just relying on the passive like dots of it. Of course, you can use the legendary weapon if you want, But to be honest, it's just so little the active does now with the change of mastery that I don't really mind not using it. If I remember, I use it. Okay, we're just gonna plow through these ads, you know, these birds. Oh man, this build is so fun. Watching again my run is really fun because I know what's happening, you know, and I can describe it for you guys. Anyways, we have cooldowns back here in 8 seconds. You have to really this build has a bit more of skill ceiling than normal 1 minute build because your cooldowns are not always going to be aligned, you know. Sometimes you have to make the decision: do I save my wake up ashes to line it up with my 1 minute cooldowns, or do I just send it, you know? Do I send just wake up ashes, or do I send just my 1 minute cooldowns? You know, you have to ask yourself those questions when you're playing this build. Sometimes I just send wake up ashes, or because, well, the next pack is like 30 seconds in, and well, my 1 minute cooldowns will be on cooldown if I use them, but my wake up ashes will be up. So what's the better decision? So yeah, this build has that type of decision making. But that's the beauty of the game, you know. A lot of people were happy with the old Red Pally build from Dragonflight, you know, post rework. We didn't have to think too much to use it. It was very simple to use. And yeah, simplicity is beautiful, you know, but sometimes you want to have a bit more decision making, and I like this from this build. Anyways, now we're going to fight the boss. You're also going to see that this build is not half bad for single target as well, especially because of Crusade. Crusade gives you a ton of haste, and haste is always good for single target. The same logic applies here as for Crash. Just keep spamming your Blade of Justice, and it's gonna keep stacking that expurgation debuff on your target. So just spam, spam, spam. The only thing that you have to notice in single target is that I throw more hammers of justice and judgments, you know. Even sometimes I just overlap and just waste some holy power. It doesn't really matter. We have so much in generational holy power that like wasting it is not a big deal, you know. It's not a huge deal. By the way, if you have over 90% mastery, every single judgment and hammer of wrath is going to throw your High Lord's judgment on your target, which is really good, you know. A lot of people say that we should use Vengeful Wrath instead of Divine Purpose, but that's only valid if you're fighting less than 5 targets all the time. You know, I think Divine Purpose is just better for most things in Mythic Plus dungeons. But hey, I don't think we still have Sims. But Sims are normally just very biased towards like single target anyways. So I just prefer to play with Divine Purpose. It's just a lot more fun anyways, you know. And if we're gonna have fun sometime, it is in Prepatch, you know. We're testing stuff, so it is the time to have the most fun, you know. Just try wild stuff like this. And yeah, okay, we're just gonna keep killing this boss. Luckily we got a proc of wings when the boss was taking extra damage, so we're just plowing through it. So much multiplicative damage here, you know. You have the 30% from Crusade. On single target you have 30% from the Final Reckoning, and sometimes you also have like Divine Purpose procs that give you an extra 10%. All those things add up multiplicatively to make a good cohesive build. Okay, so this boss is almost dead. You might notice that we are squishier, you know. I'm taking a ton more damage. Like, I remember in the past with all the versatility we had, I could survive the 3rd hit of the boss without even using a defensive, but now I have to use it on 3rd and the 4th, and this is a 15. You know, on higher keys you probably need to use it a bit earlier. Okay, boss is almost dead, and I use my, for example here, I only used my Wake of Ashes instead of using 1 minute cooldown because boss was gonna be dead, and the next pack is pretty close, you know. So why should I use my 1 minute cooldowns? In the other build, for example, the 1 minute build, since a lot of us macro our stuff together, you probably would have just used your 1 minute cooldowns and get to this part without anything, you know. But since we're using Wake of Ashes and our Final Reckoning is separate from our Wake of Ashes cooldown, we can just decide if we want to use either 1 minute cooldowns or just wings with Crusade. So we're gonna just plow this here. You remember, just spam that Blade of Justice on one target. It's gonna spread that expurgation debuff to everything that's around it. That thing is gonna keep adding the damage. It's no longer going to just reapply it without increasing the damage of the main expurgation. So just spam Blade of Justice like crazy. And yeah, just keep doing rotation as basic. it's super basic. Next up, I think we're just gonna skip this this middle pack. Yeah, we're just gonna skip it and just gonna get things from the side. I think my healer died here. Yeah, I think the healer dies somewhere here. Anyways, we start. Yeah, he died. I think he uses his thingy. He's alive again. You saw the rotation. You start with the Blade of Justice Judgment and Wake of Ashes and just start spending it like crazy, you know. Just keep your stacks as high as possible on Crusade. If you get your Crusade, you spend like crazy. Try to get your stacks as high as you can. And yeah, basically that. For example, here I'm just gonna save my 1 minute cooldowns for next pack because this one is already dead. I like the decision making of this build. It's pretty fun. Anyways, let's move on. I think I'm gonna dispel that. Yeah. Oh, I just ignored it. Yeah, I sometimes ignore stuff. You know. Hey, I'm doing damn, so I can ignore it. I have that luxury here. Anyways, we start rotation. You know, Blade of Justice, Judgment, Wake of Ashes, spend like crazy. You know. Try to get my stacks to 7 or 10, then throw my Divine Toll and my final Reckoning to do more damage to the mobs. This build, like I said, pretty RNG. Sometimes you get the extension when you have a Final Reckoning. Sometimes you don't. When you do, it's incredible. When you don't, it's still okay. You know, you're not missing too much. The great thing about this build is that the uptime on Crusade is super high. It's like around 50% of the dungeon. So you're getting effectively 3 extra minutes of wings. If you were using the 1 minute build, yeah, you are getting 3 extra minutes of wings. Okay. So here we're going to die. Oh, well, not yet. We're going to die in the future. We're just gonna clear the path, you know. I don't know if the tank was expecting us to die or something, but yeah, we just pulled this, you know, we're fine. We're gonna pull this back. Normally you pull this after the boss. Oh, we explode there. We survive. Normally you pull this back after you deal with Beximus. But the tank, I think, was like a visionary, you know. The guy knew what was going to happen. You'll see it later. Anyways, clear this back. As always, rotation is simpler. It's very simple, you know. It's just Blade of Justice, Judgment, Wake of Ashes, and keep spending and building. Yeah, that thing was raging, so we couldn't even stop it. Just taking a lot of damage. Gotta use our defensives here to survive. Yeah, that hurt. Defensive plus lay on hands. Probably in the higher keys you would die there. Since it's a 15, we survived just using our defensive smart. This is a good thing about the War Within. There's no more affixes after you go at a certain point, but stuff hurts you a bit more, but the damage intake is a lot smoother. So yeah, even though we're a bit like squishier in the War Within, damage intake from dungeons is also going to change. So we're not going to just flat out die like in these dungeons. Like Dragonfly dungeons force you to get one shot, because if not, you don't die, because we have too much defensive power. Anyways, here we're going to die. The tank just immediately, I think he dies here. Yeah, he flops, and I'm just gonna stand there. I used my bubble, you know. I thought about rezzing him. It wasn't worth it. If I rezzed him, I died immediately after, because I would have gotten aggro. So it's better to just, you know, take the L, reset, and go back to it. So we all die, and I do mention something here. I normally try to not say too much in keys, but I do try to help, you know, with small comments there. Normal, neutral comments. I never try to like be like try to offend someone or try to tell them what to do exactly, you know. I say we can do 2 packs into 1 because it's safer, you know. I think Tank also thought the same. We can do 2 into 1. So instead of that, we do 1 to 2, which is fine, you know. We just plow this first pack and then we can do the 2. Safe option. We already died once. We did the first boss like solo, so even though that happened, we have time. So yeah, the key is doing fine. We don't have to like rush it or anything. So yeah, we do 1 into 2. I know it's not the incredible that pull everything, but still, sometimes going safe and slow is better than just trying to rush and fail. You know, I've been in a lot of keys that we just try to go so fast that things go out of control. Anyways, as you can see, we have a lot of extension of wings there. I'm trying to kick as much as things I can. I already used my blind. I still have my stun. I should use it more often, you know, before these things get into raging and I can't stun them. But we're fine, we're fine. Just plow through them, do big damn. Keep throwing our Blade of Justice like crazy so expurgation just keeps stacking on these mobs. And yeah, we get past that. Now we just have to kill Beximus, and basically the key is free. We just have to get to the last boss after this. Beximus, like bosses this week, are really easy. Fortified bosses just fall over. Next week, we're probably going to move to another build, like probably using Execution Sentence next week, you know? Exciting. But for now, we're using Final Reckoning. Anyways, as always, the rotation is Blade of Justice, Judgment, Wake of Ashes, spend. Okay, I die here because I'm. We were like dancing with the tank there, you know. I'm going right. No, I'm going right, and then I died. It's a bit punishing because I died with my 1 minute cooldowns, but yeah, we're fine. We get the res. We now have to rely on really nice procs of our Crusade, and we get some proc. You know, never punished. We always get procs. There we got a proc. We got one Holy Power Spender in. It was on 4, and then we used our Wake of Ashes to extend that proc, and we get rewarded with like 11 seconds of 10 stacks of Crusade. That gives us pretty decent damage to like offset our death. So now we're gonna wait for our cooldowns to line up again. You know, we have our Wake of Ashes there. We got a Wake of Ashes now. We have a proc of Divine Purpose that gives us extra stacks. And we can just use our 1 minute cooldowns now. You will get rewarded with another extension there. And yeah, basically that's what this build is all about, you know, extensions on Crusade. Since you have so much haste, it allows you to use more spenders and extend Crusade a lot. Like I said like earlier in the video, there is a lot of RNG involved, but you know, it's fun. RNG is fun sometimes. If you get the nuts, you get nuts. Sometimes you don't get nuts, you still are good, you know? I really enjoy like reactionary content more than I do just flat out reliability sometimes. Okay, we killed Beximus, and now we just move towards the last part. Like I said, you know, the tank was like, well, I think watching through the future, you know, because we cleared this first before we died, and I think it was the correct call. We got 9 minutes, you know, and that's just me killing the first boss alone. From 26% with just the tank. Oh yeah, I say one more thing here, you know, I'm just saying, don't do the last boss with trash. We got a lot of time, you know, boss is like maximum like 3 minutes, you know, so we have like 9 minutes here, so we can just take our time, you know, kill the trash and then kill the boss. I've seen too many Algatar Academies go wrong because people try to play that last boss with trash when it's not needed. If you have enough time, don't take the risk, just go for the win, you know. And also, if you're going to tell it to your tank or something, try to be as neutral as possible, you know. People take offense to a lot of things now. I don't know why people are so on edge. Oh, we almost died there. I was too close to that spinny. Yeah, like I was saying, people take too much offense to things that you say sometimes. So try to be as neutral as possible, so no one does something crazy. Here I'm just gonna stack my expurgation on that caster. Now I don't have my kick, so I'm just gonna run. Oh man, I almost died there. Oh man, there's too many things here happening. Everything is spinning. We got caught in like a little dent there. We got exploded by our ally. Yeah, we're alive, you know. Just heal there, you know, you just gotta survive. That's also one of the beauty of this build, you know, even though it's chaotic, since it's a 30-second build and there's procs involved, sometimes even if you don't do your rotation as perfectly, you can still get the procs and salvage the situation, you know. For example, there our rotation was not perfect, you know. We used our our Blade of Justice, Judgment, Wake of Ashes, but the problem, we got hit too hard. We had to like go back and heal. So when we came back, we already used our Divine Toll and we used late Final Reckoning, but we got a proc. So the Final Reckoning still got value, even though we kind of messed up the rotation a bit. Now just the boss. You all know this. Echo of Deragosa is pretty simple fight. Just dodge the frontal, don't die to the balls and stuff. Although it's, I don't know why this fight has been comboing me a lot. Like, we get pulled in the middle and there's always like a ball going to the middle and everyone gets damaged so hard. I guess we're just unlucky there. You're gonna see it later, you know. Here we're fine. Oh, someone died. Gotta res our homie. There we go. And as you can see, I just don't use my weapon. I just don't use the legendary anymore. Yeah, okay, I use it there. Okay, I use it there. I think I used it like 3 times in this run or something like that. Yeah, basically just ignore it. That's the beauty of mastery, you know? We don't rely on those like just do damage things. I think I mentioned it at the start of the video, but the legendary does like 1% of your damage on the active part and 3% on the passive. So the active is kind of negligible, something like that. I'm just gonna use the defensive here to take that hit. We have 2 stacks of the damage increase here. To be honest, that's really good with this build, since this build is more passive gain of damage. If you get stacks of the balls, you know, the arcane stacks, you just do more damage passively, which is really good. While sometimes with like 1 minute build or something like that, sometimes you get your stacks down and you don't have it for your burst. But with this build, you just always do damage, so it doesn't really matter. Anyways, we're just killing the Echo of Deragosa. Just dodging all the balls that we can. It's only 1 ball. Oh, I think I got hit there. Yeah, I got hit. Like, I was doing a stream earlier and we just got comboed, like one shot by the pull. Like everyone went in the middle and then explosion happened and everyone died. I don't know. This boss has been a bit more dangerous since the pre-patch, because before of that I never been like threatened by this. And well, the boss is dead. And well, that's our overall. We did 1.05 million damage on this key. I think it's pretty decent. Even though it's an Algatar Academy, you know, and there's a lot of padding that you can do in this place. Anyways, let's go into the recap. Okay guys, let's make the recap. So first, remember to always wait 0.5 seconds before you wake up Ashes, so you always get your wings and avoid the bug. Second, remember to extend your Crusade as much as possible, so if you get the 5 seconds proc and you have your Wake of Ashes available, use 1 or 2 spenders, then use at the last second your Wake of Ashes for maximum duration of wings and damage. This is especially good if you also have your 1 minute cooldowns to add on top. And third, have fun with it. If there's any time to have fun and test builds, it's the pre-patch. So yes, you might make mistakes and not get wings sometimes, but it's okay. Let me know down in the comments. Did you like the build, or if you didn't? And well, that's going to be the end of the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone.